What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Book of Meme, Memecoin, and Turbo. These three cryptos have been pumping the most over the last 24 hours. So if you're wondering how high are they going to go, why are they pumping, could they go lower, are they going to get rejected? If this is the kind of content that you like, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. We're going to be looking at the top performing cryptos every single day from Monday through Thursday and keeping you on the pulse of this crypto bull market. Anyways, guys, before we get started, just keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. Everything you see here is just my personal analysis. You might have a different opinion, and as I've said before, and I'll say again, if you have a different opinion, then that's awesome. And if you do disagree or you think that there's something I missed, then feel free to drop a comment down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Anyways, guys, with all that being said, before we dig into the Book of Meme price chart here, which is looking interesting, of course, you guys know we covered it yesterday as well. The target was hit. Before we get too much into it, let's see, are there any other kind of catalysts that would justify it potentially going higher? And the short answer, guys, is no. It's just like, lots of FOMO, I guess, on Twitter/X. Lots of bull posting. We're back in the top 100, blah, 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 all this type of stuff. Even going to look at the volume, there's nothing really too particularly suspicious. You guys might remember yesterday that I mentioned the Book of Meme was one of these meme coins that before it listed on Binance, there was a little bit of like insider trading going on. So it's no surprise rather that most of the trading volume is on Binance, almost half of it, and also no surprise that the target was hit, and we're seeing lots of profit taking just above that 1 cent level as expected. And that's a very, very strong zone of resistance. So I do expect a little bit of a pullback here before Book of Meme keeps going higher. It's possible that it could fall all the way back down to this resistance level. So that would be around like a 20% correction. But again, guys, in these market conditions, you always want to think, like I mentioned in the last video, the risks are skewed to the upside. There's always a higher upside risk than downside risk, at least for now. So just do keep that in mind that, yeah, there might be a little bit of a pullback, but the pullback might not be nearly as big as you think, which is why I didn't really bother in this case drawing any kind of support target, because the support could literally be like just, it could be here. It could continue rallying from here after cooling down. This is the other thing, guys, is that when a crypto is rallying, when it's pumping really hard, it doesn't necessarily have to go down for it to keep going up. It could literally just trade sideways for a few days, and that's enough to kind of like reset these overbought conditions and allow the crypto to keep moving higher. And again, in these market conditions, there's a higher risk of that happening than in other conditions. And of course, if I get a sense that this is changing, I'll be sure to let you guys know. And of course, guys, as you can see, we're using Bybit here. We do have a sweet Bybit deal down in the description, up to $60,000 in rewards and 0% maker fees for 30 days. As I mentioned before, and I'll be mentioning in every video, you look at these deals and you think, wow, that's great, but it's not going to help me unless I'm like a whale. That's not true. If you're trading really frequently, even with a few $100s, a few $1,000s, these deals will help you out a lot. Especially on those maker and taker fees, on those trading fees, having that 0% or even just like a discount of some kind is going to help you a lot. And we don't have it just for Bybit, but for all these other exchanges like OKX and Blowfin, KuCoin, which I personally love, and also Binance as well. And all of this is down in the description. So be sure to check that out. It's going to help you out a lot. That $20, that $100 saved in trading fees is going to help you a lot. Especially, guys, imagine you save $20, $100 and you use that to put it into some meme coin and it goes up 100x. Not saying that's going to happen, but you have to think in that kind of in that sense, right? You might think, oh, $20, $100 doesn't really matter. But if that capital is put to good use, if you're really strategic, that capital you save could be allocated in a way that makes you a lot more money. Anyways, guys, moving on now to Memecoin. So this is where things get interesting. Again, before we look too closely into the chart, we have to ask, why is Memecoin pumping? So this is actually very interesting, guys. So of course, with all these meme coins pumping, you have lots of people searching like for meme coins in Google search. And by some measures, like the search for meme coins is actually at an all-time high. So of course, which crypto is going to be pumping the most? Obviously, the crypto that is literally called Memecoin, right? So this is where things get interesting, because I was checking, is this again a case of manipulation? And I was going and looking to see where the trading volume is. And to be honest, guys, similarly to like Book of Meme, this doesn't necessarily seem to be like a thing of manipulation. I do think that at this point, it's like people like FOMOing in basically, and especially with the meme coin kind of a narrative, let's say. Everyone is FOMOing in to the meme coin, and this is where things get really interesting, at least for me, because of course people are saying, oh, like meme coins are just kind of like they're just pure speculation, like all these other altcoins are speculation anyway, so might as well just buy the meme coin, like instead of buying Bitcoin, like just buy the Bitcoin token, the Bitcoin meme coin, and I'm sure someone's going to edit that out of context. I'm not endorsing the Bitcoin meme coin in any sense. But this is the mentality that people have, and it's funny that it's kind of cannibalizing itself, where, well, even the people who are investing in meme coins, it's like, well, why buy meme coin when I can just buy the meme coin, right? And this is what we're seeing now. And as you guys can see, the charts here for meme coin, for meme, in this case, is the ticker. And again, this is all in the daily, guys. Meme is actually looking very good in my opinion. The risk reward ratio here looks very good. It's funny, like yesterday I was mentioning, I'm not really big on trading these meme coins unless there's like a setup that actually looks super bullish. And in this case, this looks like it's one of these setups. Of course, it's not going to be up only. There's going to be a little bit of chop on the way up. But if we zoom out here, guys, you can see that there's actually not that much resistance on the way up. So using our handy target math here, we have a starting point of around 1 cent. We have a resistance of 1.5 cents, and of course the difference there is 0.005, and that gives us a target of 2 cents, which again on risk reward basis, it's like 3 to 1 to the upside, looking at around 40%, to the downside, looking at around 15, 12, 13, 14%, and of course it depends on where you put your support. In my case, I have my support around 0.0125. A lot of these zeros, guys, I can't wait till we're reviewing actual cryptos and not all these meme coins, because it'll be much easier to explain over video. Anyway, the risk reward ratio here is looking really good, and this is something, if we do see a break above this resistance level of 0.015, that I might potentially be looking to go long here. Again, if there's another opportunity somewhere else, I'll probably pick that over this meme coin. But for anyone who's looking for a good trade, this to me looks like a pretty good setup. And again, like, it looks like there's some resistance on the way up, but if you zoom out, there actually isn't. And not until we get to around that 2 cent level. And of course, we're probably going to see a little bit of profit taking ahead of that. So do keep that in mind, is that we could see a little bit of front running or even a little bit of a pump above that level. So just do keep that in mind if you do plan on trading this. And again, this is on Bybit, and the link for the discount is in the description. But yeah, this meme coin is looking really good on the charts here, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if it keeps going higher, especially if you guys think about how, like I said, there's kind of like this cannibalism now within the meme coin industry itself, where you can see a lot of the profits from these other meme coins being rotated into the meme coin, if that makes any sense. Anyways, guys, moving on now, we have Turbo, which looks like it's another meme coin, and Turbo's chart is super interesting. I'll explain it in a second. First things first, though, let's take a look and see, okay, like, what is the catalyst here that's potentially driving Turbo higher? Again, similar thing. There isn't anything in particular that's really making me think like, there's some kind of fundamental here. It just looks like it's part of this like, meme coin craze of people jumping in. And again, going here and searching by trading volume. This is something that's looking a little bit more like something that could be a little bit of like shady action. Let's say you see a lot of trading volumes on like offshore exchanges. Of course, Binance is a big chunk there, and OKX as well. But you can see these other ones like BTX Exchange, which I've honestly never heard of, BuyKing, which is probably like a newer one. And it's, you have to be a little bit skeptical there of like, what's really going on there in terms of the trading volume. But in any case, guys, what the charts are the charts, and that's what we have to follow. And in this case, the Turbo chart is looking really interesting. And what I've done here, guys, is I've drawn a short-term basically price target and a long-term price target. So let's zoom in a little bit here and look at the short-term. So in terms of the short-term starting point here is around 0.006. For some reason, it's not letting me put dots in the charts here. I guess a little bit of a glitch or something. But in any case, guys, it's 0.006 is the short-term starting point, with 0.009 as the short-term resistance and the long-term resistance, which we'll come to in a second. So this puts the short-term target for Turbo at around 1.2 cents, so 0.012, and it looks like we basically hit that. And the question is, do we now go for the long-term target? Could we see the same way we saw here, like just 1 or 2 days of like consolidation, and then it keeps pumping higher? I think there's a good chance of that, especially when we zoom out and we see, wow, like this is actually forming a pretty solid structure. And again, here, in case you guys missed it, we have the short-term target math just real quick. We have 0.006. And the resistance is 0.009, and the difference there is 0.003. So of course that gives us, when we add those two together, it gives us 0.012. And we can do the same thing, of course, with the long-term target math. This is where things get interesting, because the starting point for the long-term starting point is somewhere around 0.003. The resistance is somewhere around 0.009, and of course the difference there is 0.006, and that gives us a target of 0.015. Which is, it's still a ways up here. I'll actually quickly draw some profit and loss and see. So we'd be looking to the upside of around 22%, which is, again, not too shabby. But again, this just kind of underscores the fact, guys, with a lot of these meme coins, like, yes, there's like some juice to be squeezed, but it's not nearly as much as you're going to find in like other altcoins. I guess the meme coin that we just covered a few minutes ago specifically is an example of kind of like an exception. But as you guys can see, like the rule is typically like with these meme coins is like, yeah, by the time you've noticed it's already started pumping and maybe has another 10%, 20% left. And then the risk to the downside is quite high, especially when you consider that we can see a retracement down from this long-term and short-term resistance, which would be quite sizable. That would be like 30% or something as we approach that, on the way up to that 0.015 target. Sorry, with all the zeros again, guys. So this chart, looks super bullish from a long term, but when you actually when you actually like zoom in and you actually calculate the profit and loss there, you're like, it's not looking too good. The meme coin though is looking pretty solid, and hopefully we're going to see more charts like that, not just for meme coins but also from altcoins. And on that note, guys, if you do want to see kind of like in deep dives into up and coming small cap altcoins, not like meme coins but actual altcoins with like super strong narratives that that are going to deliver those 100x 200 the 100x 200x gains that you don't have to be constantly checking the charts. That's kind of like the nice thing with these altcoins is like, yes, with meme coins you can also have 100 200x, but you have to be constantly checking because it can happen in a matter of days, right? Whereas with these altcoins, if you find a promising altcoin with a strong narrative and you just sit tight and you just hold it, you can ride it all the way up and you don't have to stress, you don't have to check the charts. Of course, you probably will be anyway. I know that I do, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. But anyways, guys, we do all of that in the Coin Bureau Club. We do weekly altcoin reviews that are voted on by our members. We also showcase our personal portfolios, the cryptos that we're watching. I do technical analysis of Bitcoin and Ethereum every single day there, and I'm happy to say, at least for me personally, the calls I've had recently have been really good. This rally up to 66K is actually something I called a couple days ago, and members of the Coin Bureau Club can confirm that in the comment section. I'm pretty happy. To be honest, guys, like for me, analyzing Bitcoin and Ethereum is much easier than these meme coins, especially, and easier than altcoins. That has the most liquidity, loss of emotions. That's where all the traders and everyone's focused on. But anyways, guys, the members Discord is where you'll find me, and you can ask me questions and ask the rest of the team questions. And if I have time, then I'll be happy to do an analysis of some altcoin that you guys want as well. And the link to that will be in the description. I know for some of you it might be a little bit pricey, but I guess in my personal opinion, I do think it's worth it. And you'll see a lot of people swearing by that they made more than their money's worth just from what they've learned. Again, like the point of this Coin Bureau Club, just to make it clear, guys, is not to tell you what to buy. We don't do that. We literally just find a crypto, we tell you what it's about, and you guys are the ones that make the decision on your own time, essentially, as to whether that's a crypto you think is worth your money. But we take the time basically to do the research for you, essentially, on these promising cryptos, and you get to vote on which ones we cover. So if that's what you find interesting, then be sure to check that out. Again, link in the description. And if you guys made it this far, then I guess this video probably deserves a like and maybe a subscribe, and ping that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And I'll see you in the next one, guys.